Hey guys, welcome to my Geek Rant. So today I'm going to be reviewing issue 2 of the new Marvel Star Wars series, which takes place right after A New Hope and between Empire Strikes Back. So where we left off, I was actually kind of wary, sort of skeptical of where it was going because the cliffhanger was Vader versus Luke, and I was like, why would we have that? It would lose the impact if their first confrontation is like a few weeks after A New Hope versus seeing each other for the first time in Empire Strikes Back. But it was actually very well handled, so much to the point that it actually even makes more sense that they had their confrontation because how that story ends makes more sense for how Vader actually gets to know who Luke Skywalker even is. Because in the comic book, Vader says, "Show me to the pilot who destroyed the Death Star," obviously showing that he doesn't know that Luke is the one who destroyed the Death Star. But what brings him to realize that Luke is the same person is that at one point he does take Luke's lightsaber, which of course used to be Anakin's lightsaber, and he actually at one point in the comic goes, "Hold up, I know this weapon, it used to belong to you," but then he gets interrupted, of course, in all comic book fashion or just storytelling fashion in general. He gets interrupted after he realizes that that is Anakin's lightsaber and that, oh snap, because also Luke mentions that Kenobi was his master, and then so basically we see the breadcrumbs of Vader connecting the dots of who this person is and eventually finding out that, and I think that's going to be interesting. We get to see we can see it unfold, Vader's realization, which I spoke about before when I looked at the previews for the comics. I was like, oh, that's going to be a very interesting storyline, is seeing Vader actually realize that Luke is his son and what that entails. I also really liked the desperation that was depicted with Luke. Every time he's in a pickle, he's always looking for Ben. He's looking for his master who's not there, and it's going to be interesting just seeing how Luke is going to progress, because he does get somewhat more skilled in Empire Strikes Back, obviously, over A New Hope. So to see where he goes without a master is going to be pretty interesting, and I think we get that a lot here, is that he's lost. He doesn't know what to do half the time because he doesn't know how to be a Jedi and what to do. So I think that's going to be very interesting going forward, seeing how that plays out. Also, the bickering between Han and Leia is done very well. It's very true to form. It's true to their characters. It's true to what we see in them in Empire and what they're going to end up becoming, because they have this infatuation for each other that they just can't express. They have all this sexual tension they need to release, and they do it by arguing with each other. So they did that very well. I think their argument was very good. This comic was more Vader and Luke focused. The previous one was more Han focused, but still they had their little bits. And C-3PO had his little moment too, and he is dismantled once again. As we know, C-3PO, he gets dismantled pretty much in every iteration except for episode. Well, only Empire Strikes Back and episode 2 does he ever get dismantled, but he gets dismantled once again. The aliens that were coming to dismantle the Millennium Falcon, the scavengers, he tries to stop them, and then in turn he gets shot up by them, and just C-3PO is pretty much useless except for his translation, which even that was useless because he couldn't translate the aliens that were on the planet. He was like, I speak Bocce, do you guys speak Bocce? But again, the craziest thing that happened in the comic again falls to Vader. So at one point, Han and Leia steal an AT-AT, and they try to shoot Vader down, and they first try to stomp him with the foot. And what Vader does is that he just uses the Force, and he stops them completely he starts dismantling the AT-AT as well. He starts to break it apart, and then Han's like, "What is this? I don't believe in the Force. What is he doing?" And Leia's like, "He's using the Force. Get out of here. We have to shoot him." And then he's like, "No, I can't. This is crazy. I can't believe this." And it's just it's cool that we get to see Han realizing that the Force is a real thing and that Luke wasn't BSing that whole time, and that old Ben Kenobi wasn't BSing, and just see that realization that the Force is awakening or anything like that, but oh yeah, so then Han proceeds to shoot at Vader, and Vader evades all the strikes, and he even survives the impending avalanche of debris that falls on him, and it just shows his resilience, his power with the Force. It's cool to see that they're respecting the Force too, because usually in the movies we don't see too much Force abilities really, but here we're getting it. We got Yoda with the X-Wing, and now we have Vader with this big Imperial tank, so that's awesome. But yeah, so once Vader gets out of that avalanche, his one motive is to find Luke, and that's basically how the next story is going to go. It's going to be about Luke escaping and Vader maybe finally realizing we're probably not going to get the realization in this comic book series, because of course there's going to be a Darth Vader spin-off, and I think the spin-off will be the beginning of his realization and then his search for Luke Skywalker, which leads all the way up to Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, it's really cool. I'm really enjoying this comic. This one was actually even better than the first one. I thought it was very entertaining, and it had a lot of stuff in there. A lot of stuff, a lot of plot development happened within this issue in particular. So yeah, I recommend it. You guys should watch it, or not watch it. You should read it, because you can't really. Well, you can watch comic books too. Which, by the way, I bought mine on Marvel's website, and they have a little cinematic mode, which is pretty cool. So you can go through each panel, and it actually like goes through each speech bubble and everything. I think it's pretty cool. If you guys don't know about that, there's digital comments on Marvel's website. I'm getting on tangents. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love. May the force be with you always.
They both held immense power with their use of the Force, Yoda as the avatar of light, Bane as the nexus of the dark.
No, why are you mowing your lawn right now? I'm recording a Let's Play.